Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. We'll be talking overall, of course, we've seen that PTI's protest, the demonstration has been delayed. We've also seen a lot of rumors among, that are coming out as far as this protest is concerned within the party also, as far as the former Prime Minister and head of PTI, his family members, their statements, the leadership within the PTI and their statements don't seem to match, and there again seems to be a difference of opinion within the party leadership. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about the coalition between the PPP and the PML-N. We've seen recently remarks come from both sides and also the meetings that have followed with a view to perhaps strengthening this coalition and of course moving forward. It's essential and whether, what kind of a relationship both the parties intend to have during the government. All of that today on Perspective. I have with me today Muhammad Ali Rashid, who's spokesperson Sindh government. Thank you for being with us today. We also have Dr. Humayun Mohmand, who is Senator of PTI. Thank you for joining us. And from the PML-N, we have Dr. Shezra Mansab Ali Khan Kharal, who is MNA with the PML-N. Thank you for being with us. Ali, let's start off with you. As far as the PPP and PML-N is concerned, we've seen, there is, of course, your coalition partners, very much part of the government, barring having positions in the cabinet. But, we've seen the recent remarks as far as with Punjab being the focus.
Yeah.
What is behind it?
The point is, I'll tell you how it all started. We have no issues if Maryam Nawaz, being CM Punjab, announces something for Punjab, which is a federal subject. It's nothing to do. If you talk about the power, electricity, it's not a provincial thing.
Yeah.
But the fact, the optics that she has Mr. Nawaz Sharif sitting next to her, who is of a stature of statesman, he's been an ex-prime minister, he's a party leader, his brother is the prime minister of Pakistan. So we were just of the opinion if some relief was being announced, especially with Mia Saab sitting next to her, maybe it would have been better to give the impression that they care about the entire country as opposed to just Punjab, right?
Okay.
And to be honest with you, we didn't even start this entire debate about Punjab, Sindh, etc. There's a governor in Sindh, Governor Kamran Tesori, who's a symbol of the federation. He demanded the Sindh government that we should do a similar thing what happened in Punjab. To that we said that look, it's very good, it's very welcome, but it's not a long-term solution. Okay. 2 months, for 2 months, if you give relief to people, that's fine, but what's next? As a visionary leader, you want to provide long-term solutions.
Fair enough.
So that's what I said. So I don't know, I think Bibi Maryam took it a bit negatively. They started talking about this smear thing started where their spokesperson came and started saying government ki kya performance and all.
I think we have Shezra Mansab from the PML-N. Dr. Shezra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Dr. Shezra, this is, I hope you heard what Ali here is saying. He said as far as these remarks were concerned by CM Punjab. Isn't it true that, as far as the federation is concerned, they were also, Mia Nawaz Sharif Saab also talked about having spoken to the Prime Minister on this and expecting there to be perhaps, the federation also coming through with this. And he's also saying that this is not long term. How would you respond to this?
Thank you very much for having me on your show. I think what happened was that the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, had already announced a 50 billion package, which applied to the whole of Pakistan, because the federal government was giving it, which gave a subsidy to all people who use less than 200 units. And the CM's Punjab, from her own budget, because after the 18th Amendment, all provinces have their own budget, and they have the right to use that budget as they want. So they decided, Maryam Nawaz Sharif Sahiba decided that she would give another subsidy in addition to the subsidy already given. And that would apply to all those households which use electricity from 200 to 500 units. And she announced a package of 45 billion. What happened was that I think the province of Sindh came under too much pressure. And rather than, I think there should have been a healthy competition. And they could have also decided to give, because Sindh is a smaller province than Punjab. And they could have given the same subsidy in much less, I think maybe 1/3 or 1/4 of 45 billion. But because of their reaction, they started criticizing rather than seeing that this was a good thing that was for the relief of the people, and it could be emulated rather than just criticized for the sake of criticism. And because certain words were used by the CM of Sindh, which were not appropriate, I think that's why Maryam Nawaz Sharif Sahiba said that, and she said a very general thing. She did not specify or pinpoint anybody. She just said that in previous governments, certain things have been happening. The budget of a province has been used for things like, protocol or spending on the government, spending on itself. Rather than that, isn't it better to give relief to the people? As far as Nawaz Sharif Saab is concerned, who is the guide of our party, and who he has a right. He talked about the Prime Minister and his budget as well. He said that the Prime Minister has already given this subsidy to all of Pakistan, and he was very happy about it. And he said that Maryam Nawaz is giving another subsidy.
Corruption.
I don't think.
When she spoke about corruption, was she talking about particularly Sindh? Because that also has been said.
Was it? And if you just take her speech and look at it, hear it again, she did not mention any province or any person at all. She just said a general thing, and this has been happening and has been talked about, in the previous years a lot. That rather than the government spending on itself or spending on protocols and things like that, it's better to spend on the people. That is what all our vision is. Anyway, I think that is past and behind us, and there's already been talks between the two parties, and things are ways to be solved, any issues or any problems that there were.
Right, let me come back to you. I'm going to go to the Dr. Humayun Mohmand, who's senator with PTI. Senator Saab, do you think that this is, this Jalsa, the Jalsa that PTI, the delayed demonstration that we've seen as far as PTI is concerned, there have been different remarks come. We've seen what, PTI leader and his family, remarks that have come from there. Then, as far as the leadership is concerned, there are different statements coming from each leader on this postponement. How would you respond to this? Is there again a difference of opinion on this? Because, there is, it's somehow the other, there's always a lot of difference of opinion on all crucial matters within the party that's, manifesting itself lately. How would you respond to this?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. You see, I think you might be confusing about difference of opinion or different versions of different things, right? A difference of opinion is how you interpret one thing. I don't think so. There was any ambiguity in what has been said by everyone. There is the facts as I laid down would be like this. Number one, the fact is that the government was afraid, and the government approached either directly or the KP government. One of those two things happened, and if they approached first, did not believe them and said, I would first like to talk to my, those people whom I trust. And then he gave probably a couple of names and they went there. Or if the other way around, if they approached KP government and asked to withdraw this Jalsa, which they knew.
You're saying that the Jalsa was withdrawn at the request of the government?
Oh yes, they begged it. Request would be, something different. They begged it. They said that they would not be able to probably handle anything. And the reason, it was, what I understand, my understanding, or let me rephrase it.
Okay.
My understanding of this all event is the government knew how many people are going to gather in the Jalsa. With, of course, they had all these intelligence people working for them, giving them the numbers that look, they are coming up with the huge numbers. So in a pretext of this religious parties coming for this judgment, which apparently was wrongly passed by the Chief Justice of Pakistan, who had to had a very
But Senator Saab, let's try and stay on the point. Why did your party decide, if it was indeed a request of the government, why did your party decide to oblige them then?
Right, okay. It's not to oblige them. It was the scenario, probably what they painted was something will happen worse for this country, and it might not be, I mean, we as in government might not be able to control things. So we are requesting you, begging you to please withdraw this jalsa this time, and we will allow you the next time, and so forth and so on. Right now, that is probably what happened. Now, when I went and met he obviously that was the same afternoon. In the morning at 7 p.m. people met him, and then in the afternoon when I met him, he categorically straight away said, look, Humayun, tell everyone, this is the last time I'm going to postpone this jalsa in the larger interest of the country, right? Next time I'm not going to do it. Now, let's suppose, if I understand as a doctor, if I understand the psychology of a person, if I'm not convinced...
Isn't it, I mean, if in the interests of, as you say, and I will of course go to the other participants and take their take on this, but as you say, if this is about the greater interests of the country, why does your leader not agree to talk and the dialogue that, would be in the greater interest of the country? You think that, perhaps things are headed in that direction, or no?
Okay, you see, in the larger interest of the country, yes, of course, we will all talk. But let me just touch what the other two participants was mentioning about. When Maryam Nawaz was mentioning about the stolen money, she mentioned the corruption. Whom was she referring to? Of course, you know whom she was referring to, right? Number two, just understand and for a second just see the intellectual capacity of these leaders when she says, oh, it's not a short term, it's a long term, it's for 2 months, it's not a short term. Now,
I don't think this is accurate. The news itself is inaccurate, to which you're talking about. It was later also, that there's evidence that this was an accurate piece of information, but I will, and it was taken out of context, but I will come back to you. Let me go to Ali and then Shezra. Ali, I would like your comments on this. He's saying, one, that it was a request by the government to which they acceded and did not do the jalsa in the greater interest of the country.
If that's the case, then I think the government has requested them of many other things multiple times. Why not adhere to that? Why not agree to do that? And why create a situation where there's panic, instability, where the government has to react with trying to block the roads? The common man is getting disturbed. I mean, I myself am visiting Islamabad. I had important meetings which got missed because all the roads were blocked. And but you see, but the objective of PTI was achieved. They called it off, but they wanted panic. They wanted some kind of uncertainty, instability, which they've been doing it for the past 7, 8, 10 years while they've been in opposition and then in power and then out of power again. And I think, it is trying to, I mean, I do understand PTI is a popular party. I do understand they have a lot of following. But, the time has come that one should start questioning their intentions. Whatever the outcomes, I can understand whatever is going on. If you look at whatever outcomes are coming out of their actions since their 2014-15 dharna to this time, it's been, it's just been destruction. And it's been like, for Pakistan, it's been bad. Let it be starting from the Premier of China, who didn't come. Let it be recently from Saudi Arabia, investment was coming. Sheikh Abdul Marwat said ki ji, Saudi was also involved in a conspiracy just at the time. I mean, I'm just surprised. You know, they talk about that Mujibur Rahman, then they talk about Bangladesh, they talk about, you know, and the leader, the Khan Sahib himself says these things. So what can you expect from the other leaders who are, you know, down? So I think it's about time they should get serious. I mean, to even talk to the government, they nominated Akshak. I mean, do they have no competent person within their party to do so? So there are a lot of question marks, and I don't know what they're trying to achieve, but it's just harming the country. And I think sanity should prevail, and they should come to the table and just sort it out. They can, my last thing I just like to add is, like, who comes out on the roads? People who are not being heard, people who the government is not willing to engage. The last resort is coming out on the roads. Here the government is inviting you to come sit with them. So your intentions are doubtful. You understand what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Dr. Shezra, how would you respond to this? I mean, who from the government actually approached the PTI and asked them, and this request, according to Senator Saab, to delay this Jalsa?
What happened was that they were told that the NOC was being withdrawn because of two reasons. One was that the Bangladesh team was here, and the second was that there was a case hearing that day, which was a bit delicate, and we didn't want the religious parties to, you know, there might be disturbance of that kind. So they were told that the NOC was withdrawn. But what they did after that, when they heard that, on the evening of the 21st, was there was a lot of unnecessary bluster, there was bravado, there were all these statements coming from them that we are going to come, we are going to, no matter what happens, we are ready to, you know, very irresponsible and unnecessarily, statements, violent statements that I don't want to even repeat here. And they were coming from all their leaders. So till the night of the 21st, this is what they were doing, rather than thinking of the people, of the citizens who would be disturbed by all of this, and who would. There might be some security issues, and that's why they were told that the NOC was being withdrawn. And after that, you know, this is just like a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. The next day, their leaders came and they said that no, this chairman has said, the previous chairman has said that there should be no jalsa, so we are not going to have any jalsa. And after that, before that, what we need to ask them is, why was the movement of the Jalsa? I didn't see any movement all over Punjab. There were no people going there from any city, anywhere. And there was no stage, there was no preparation as such. What were we afraid of? And after the Jalsa was cancelled, their CM was seen distributing rupees 5,000 to all the people. So because probably they had told them that if they come to the Jalsa, please come to the Jalsa, we'll give you money. That's why they had come. That's why they were distributing this money to them. So saying that, okay, this is the last time we are going to do this, and we are not going to postpone our Jalsa ever again, this is not how mature political parties should behave. Right. And seeing their past, seeing what they've been doing in the past.
Let me take Senator Saab. Senator Saab, isn't it true that, you know, within your party also, we saw Alima Khan, for example, the audio that has surfaced with her saying that, you know, she doesn't agree with this decision within, and it wasn't necessarily coming from the top, and that, you know, within your leadership also, it's, till the last minute, till that very evening, there seems to have been, you know, confusion left, right and center. Again, like Dr. Shezra is also saying, that there was no preparedness actually on the ground. Isn't that true? I mean, those were also issues and have been consistently for a while within the party. Is it because you don't have your, you know, primary leadership, or is it because there is a lot of disagreement and too many leaders in the field and not you know, a structure, so to speak? I will let you answer this. We have to take a short break. After that, we'll be right back. Please stay with us. welcome back. Ji, Humayun Sahab, you were just about to say, I mean, whether this, as far as your overall party leadership is concerned, are you satisfied with, I mean, there's so many different remarks that invariably come. And I'm saying that, with the background of the structure issue within the party, do you think it's an actual, it's really manifesting itself? Because, there are so many different statements that come from so many different leaders. And Alima Khan's audio, and so there's generally confusion in that regard, and one has to ask.
Well, you see, I don't know what ambiguity you are talking about. I mean, you are talking about 2-3 different things, and you are trying to connect them, which cannot be connected with, because they are all different things. You see, the fact is, only IK commands respect. Everybody knows that the people of Pakistan only trust, and that is why they had to request and beg to please cancel this thing. Now,
so you're saying that Alima Khan doesn't, have any respect. Your other leaders within the party, Azam Sawati Sahab has no respect. It doesn't matter what they say. It's Ji.
Within the party, it's the decision of Imran Khan which is conveyed through different people to the roots of the party, right, and to the general public at large. Now,
Senator Sahib, it's the content of the message that's invariably so different for when everyone, each person who comes up says that he said this. So that hearsay is sort of, not always clear.
There is always, if you allow me and do not interrupt, there is always an element of Chinese whisper whenever you are relaying a message from one person to another person. So keep that fact in mind. Now, coming back to the panic aspect and coming back towards the roadblock that my honorable colleague had to face while coming from Karachi to Islamabad. Who blocked the roads? Why did they block the roads in the first place? Now, coming to the answer, and we heard Dr. Saba saying that, the Bangladesh cricket team was here, and yes, at the in the D Chowk, the religious party TLP was there, and there were so many things. Hold on, we are talking about 40 kilometers away from where the Jalsa was. The Jalsa is almost touching the outer limits of Texla, or just entering the Islamabad, not even Islamabad. And you are talking.
Is it true that as we've seen what happened on May 9th, there's a history there?
Please and give me a break. Please give me a break. Right? Nothing has been proved so far about 9th May.
Humayun Sahab, we know that even trees were not spared last time. I'm saying that, from the government's perspective, and you've been there at one time, as a party, there has to be some rules and there has to be some safety mechanisms in place, right?
Right. Okay, you see, the safety mechanism is what Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf did. They gave the PDM, when they tried to come 4 times, a long march, and 3 other times, we did not block a single road for them. We let them come because it was their right, as in Article 15.
Do you think that they were violent? Do you think they burnt trees? Do you think that there was, in the history, entering the same, building, this PTV, and the way that it was, we know what happened, right? Is it the same for all parties? I'm asking.
Allow me. Yes, of course. Did you not see what happened in 1997 with the Supreme Court? Did you not see that thing? Or Supreme Court doesn't matter if you just kind of.
Mansab, then you agree that, like other parties, there was a threat, and therefore the government acted. Is that what you're saying? I mean, the illusion of peaceful protest was not a reality.
It was, look, when you say 9th May, please see what happened on 25th May 2022. Nothing happened at that time, and before 25th of May, there was a 22nd May when they started to violate the boundaries of the houses. They started to enter in the houses. There was no concept of chadar and char diwari. They started to, break the cars.
After the events of 9th May, after what had been done as a party by, your party, what happened, the havoc that was wreaked. You're talking about the 22nd then?
Yes, I'm talking about a year before that. That's what happened. They actually created it by
When trees were burnt on blue area, that time?
no, hold on. Let me tell you, there was no trees which was burned. I was there in
We
the DP.
all saw them. That is a reality, I think. You must have also. That I think is a matter of record.
Look, I was there. I was there.
Metro bus stations also. Those are
No,
facts,
no.
right?
You see, when you were not there in physically and you are trying to narrate something, I was there on the 25th May when we reached the blue
Oh my,
area.
Mansab, that's 200 yards from where I am right now. This is not a place which is obscure. We don't know where it is. But let's not quibble over that. The issue,
About in a building inside the room. I was outside. I was outside. I was at ground zero. 200 yards. It's not 200 yards. It's almost a kilometer and a half. Please, next time measure it.
Humayun Sahib, there was no metro stations burnt.
Sorry,
You think that footage was inaccurate, fake? I'm asking you.
No, there was okay. They were all shellings. Nothing was burned. No.
So like you are saying that all the footage that was there as far as metro stations being burnt, trees being burnt, were fake, and that footage, that all that content is fake, just like what you always say as far as May 9th is concerned. That's also fake.
What on 25th May, what happened was, the bushes that we burned was in order to have like an antidote towards
Not
the
trees then. Okay.
part.
Ji. Let me come back to you. I'll let you answer. I'll give you as much time as you like. Let me go to Shezra. Shezra, do you think, I also want to ask you as political parties, as far as, alliances are concerned, do you expect the PPP to have more participation after the meeting that has happened? Of course, in terms of ironing out the finer details, do you expect there to be perhaps a larger, share of working within the government as far as the PPP as a political party is concerned following these meetings?
I think the meetings were very successful, as all political parties who are mature know that if there are bound to be differences in a democracy, especially if you have a coalition, there are bound to be different viewpoints, because every party has its own viewpoints, have their own agendas, and so when they decide to work together for the betterment of democracy, then there have to be times when there are opposing viewpoints or there are differences. And the way forward to that, as every mature political party knows, to sit and talk about those differences and try to find a way out of them. So the talks between the Prime Minister and Bilawal Bhutto Sahab were very successful. They were all leaders, also the other leaders as well. And I think there's going to be another round of talks on Sunday in Punjab to sort out any differences that are still there that they feel in Punjab. And then later on next week, there's going to be another meeting between the Prime Minister and Bilawal Bhutto Sahab. So, we have worked very well as a coalition in the previous government also, in the 16-month government that we had, and even now. And any differences are going to be, sorted out. There's no issue that is so huge that cannot be talked about or cannot be sorted out. These are minor things, very naturally, that occur between parties who have a different manifesto and different. We have two different. The two parties have two governments in two different provinces. So there are minor differences, but they will be sorted out.
Do you think, Shezra, as far as your talks are concerned, when we talk about talks, as far as a political party, are you amenable, are you agreeable to having talks with a party like the PTI? Are you okay with going around to having a working relationship with the opposition as the government?
Yes, I think any political party is amenable to talks with all other political parties, as we've proved time and again. When we were in the opposition and after the 2018 rigged election, in which the RTS was, just went out, and then the PTI government was given power. And even then, we were in the opposition, but all the other political parties decided to sit in the parliament, and they offered on the floor of the House that they would talk to PTI, but they refused even at that time when they were in the government. Later on, after the vote of no confidence, again we offered, and now as the government party, the Prime Minister offered on the floor of the House that we are ready to talk and we are ready to have any conversation on any topic at all that they want. But every time we were told that the PTI does not want to talk to any political parties at all. The only people that they want to talk to is the establishment. So while we are ready, because I think that is how democracy can be strengthened, and that is the only way forward for our federation. But the PTI has never been ready to talk to political parties. They have never come to power through being properly elected, and that is why they don't believe in talking to other political parties.
Shezra, they want, they've announced a new date as far as this protest is concerned. Is the government, do you think, going to go ahead and let them protest? Is it going to, allow them to gather? Because, a lot of them are saying that this is the government not wanting their supporters. How many supporters actually come? How many supporters actually do come and protest? We'll only know on the day. But do you foresee this happening? Do you foresee it going through?
I think that, as the Senator Sahib was saying, that the place was so far away from the red, but they did not go ahead in the end. After all their bluster and after all their loud, violent statements, in the end they just said, okay, we're not going to have it, and they made all the political workers very upset, because some of them, very few, but some of them had come and they were not even told. And the other parties with whom they have opposition, coalition, they weren't told either. So this party also needs to be more mature. And as you mentioned, the 9th May incident, that cannot be ignored. That was something that has never happened in the history of Pakistan, that our own army was attacked, and that is not something that can be ignored. So they'll be given, I think they have already been provided with a list of, items which are important. If they want to go ahead with their jalsa, they will have to agree to that list. And if if it spells that yes, they are able to hold a jalsa or a peaceful protest, whatever they want to call it, and not disturb the citizens, and not again have any kind of violent or extremist actions like they did last time, then they can have their jalsa.
Okay, fair enough. Let me come back to you. Ali, do you see this, in your opinion, you think that this jalsa can go forward, and the kind of support that they talk about? What do you expect? Do you think that people will gather, which is what, of course, Senator Saab is saying, that, it was because of the number that the government didn't let them go ahead?
I personally feel that no, that's not the case. I think there's a lot of divide within the party, PTI, okay. And I think because of that, it's trickling down at the lower level, and the political workers are feeling it too.
Okay.
And I think there's no binding force right now. I mean, when the founder Bani Khan Saab was there, it was a different story. On his call, people would come out. But right now, there's a leadership crisis. One leader is, there's a blame game. They're pointing fingers. Sher Afzal Marwat says one thing. Barrister Gohar says something else. Then Amin Gandapur says totally something different. And they're like different camps. And they're like, instead of uniting, they're actually now started to work against each other. So I don't see any unity, and I think there is no political party. PTI is only Imran Khan, and if he's not there, I don't see that kind of pull where they'll be able to pull crowds out to come out and do jalsas.
Senator Saab, you also mentioned this. You also said that, there is one leader and, he is the one that you all follow. Do you think that that one, a personality can, and he's also not on the scene, actually amass crowds? Do you think that a personality alone can actually, run a party, so to speak? Because we have seen, there are fissures have emerged within the party. Different statements, I'm saying as a matter of record, we see different, you yourself are saying it's a Chinese whisper and it happens, but there are different statements. We've also seen, other leadership within the party, different sections like Ali Harris saying. Do you think that there is a need to perhaps sit down and there be a cohesive structure? Do you acknowledge this, that perhaps that is needed, perhaps a rethink there, or no?
You see, the best thing about Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is that it is ever evolving political party. It's not like a private limited company that only some kind of will can transfer a political party from one leader to another so-called leader, or it's not a family-oriented affair that unless you don't have that blood running through your veins, you will never get to that position. Even if you are the dumbest of the dumbest, and if you have got that blood, you will still get to somewhere. Even if you are brightest of the brightest.
Command, right?
Sorry?
You do need a chain of command nevertheless.
Oh, we do have a chain of commands. Yeah, of course. But of course, you see, sometimes because of we do not trust the government, and sometimes, you see, but let me tell you one thing. You see, the problem lies in, if you go through Atif Mia's tweets, you will see two things. He has mentioned categorically, he has shown two graphs. One graph starting from 1980 till 2018, and he showed that taking as 1979 as number one, he said that if we would have grown it the right way of growth, Pakistan should have been at least 40% better than what Pakistan is today.
But Humayun Sahab, Mia Sahab, you've also had, the same gentleman, you've had so many disagreements with your party itself, your leader itself. We know what you've said about him. And now, of course, the quoting of him, we've also seen, I want to go to Shezra. I'm unfortunately completely out of time. As Shezra, we've seen Mia Saab also come out and talk about, when the dollar was in the 80s, whether 89. And when, things were booming as far as economy is concerned, and he talks about how government was taken from him. Isn't that also, what the PML-N says?
Well, yes, but we have evidence for that. When the Chinese had made this agreement with us with CPEC, there was going to be a lot of industries, and there was going to be, we have the growth was at 6%, and everything. So we have evidence for that. As far as the PTI is concerned, that party is completely disintegrated. And the reason for that is that it was never a political party. It was always a cult, based and focused on one person who was only concerned with his own self, a narcissist who only wanted to be in power for himself. He's never delegated power to anybody. Even this statement that they made about the Jalsa wasn't made by the chairman, who's the chairman of the political party now. It was made by another person, completely a new person who came. And then the sister came and said, gave a vote of no confidence on all these people. He said they don't want Imran Khan to come out of jail. So, everybody is giving completely opposing, conflicting statements, and there's a lot of infighting going on between them. And so all these things,
they have to be sorted out. Though that there needs to be clarity there, and I hope that the party leadership across the board can acknowledge that. Thank you so much for joining us today, Muhammad Ali Rashid Saab. Thank you for being with us. Dr. Humayun Mohmand, Senator, thank you so much for being with us. Dr. Shezra Mansab, thank you for joining us today. Of course, as far as political parties, there needs to be a structure, there needs to be clarity within, whether it's the opposition, when we talk about different statements coming and being alluded to the leadership, it does create monumental confusion. generally, and also for the follower, whichever, when we talk about people who perhaps want to come or join, there needs to be that clarity, and perhaps that is something the leadership across the board of this one particular political party can think about. Thank you so much for joining us today on Perspective.